I did this for a few years of purchasing these internationals with the beer money I would have been spending. And I have come to the point where I have enough to play with. I can take parts from different ones and exchange them. And what I would say is find something that you're interested in collecting, or if you have the ability to take that same money you were spending on whatever and buy yourself something that you enjoy. And it's helped me to move on.
Grace Family Pharmacy announces new medication packaging service. It provides a simpler, safer medication experience through convenient, personalized packaging using the latest in pharmacy robotics. We're located at 357 West Main Street. Our phone number is 931-473-6418.
McMinnville, you're a great place to be. McMinnville, Tennessee.
Not many things last a lifetime, but when they do, there's something special. Dr. Pepper. Good for life, good for the community.
From the small towns in our community to the big hearts in our own back door. This is their stories. This is a part of their life shared with you.
My name is Greg Koenig, and this is a little bit about my story. And I was in the Army. I was a airborne ranger, special operations, and was in 2nd Ranger Battalion for about 2.5 years. And come to get out of the Army after my 3-year enlistment. My parents had moved from Washington State to South Carolina, so that brought me to the East Coast, and I then eventually got married and had a kid and established roots. Moved to McMinnville about 4 years ago, and I did struggle a lot when at that time I was alcohol dependent, and I prayed that I'd be able to stop for many years. For probably 3 or 3.5 years, I prayed every day. And one morning I woke up and I had no desire to drink anymore. And I haven't had one desire whatsoever since. And being with my wife and friends, I've gone to bars, no desire. So that is incredible. And for a little bit of a reward or gift to myself, I decided to buy some international trucks. And my grandfather and my great-grandfather both worked at the International Harvester plant in Indianapolis, Indiana, in a plant where they made motors. And my grandfather was always into internationals. He had a Scout, he had a big truck. And so when I got to high school, I bought an International Scout, 1966 International Scout as my first vehicle, and it was quite the vehicle and robust. It would climb better than any Jeep that I knew of, and it was hill country, and so that was the thing to do there, was climb hills and it had power lock differentials, and it was wonderful. I don't have that anymore, but I started purchasing more internationals after I stopped drinking, and this one behind me is one that I picked up from a Facebook group that someone was faced with possibly scrapping it, and so I paid very little money for it, and I went to Maryland from McMinnville. Took a load because I have a small trucking company, and I loaded this, winched it up on my trailer, and brought it back, got it running. It runs great. It has less than 10,000 miles on it because it was a volunteer fire truck from a small coastal Maryland county, and I plan on taking the motor out of this and putting it on another truck. It has the 6.9 liter diesel with I put a turbo kit on it from Banks and the monster exhaust and the whole works. It's in body priming right now. Well, not priming. I've put filler on it, and I'm smoothing it out now. So this is skim coat. You can see this light speckled skim coat so that I can.
And for those that might not call type of vehicle and everything that it is.
It's a Ford F-350, 1984, with a 6.9 liter diesel and a single rear wheel. And it was my grandfather's truck that he bought brand new in 1984. So it became dilapidated over the years. My stepfather neglected it, and it had big holes in the floor. The sills were rotted out, and it was in horrible condition. So I have taken and welded in new pieces and rebuilt it, and took the bed off, took the cab off. It's all repainted, and it's getting close to paint. So it'll be my first paint job ever. We'll see how it goes. So this came with the carburetor inside the vehicle, and so I sealed up the manifold there, but it had factory air conditioning. It's a 1965 model, and it's a travel all, and it has a gasoline motor, and I only paid $800 for it. So I'm going to get it running just like I did the pickup I just sold. That was an International, a 66 1100A pickup, and but it has the same motor, a 304 V8, and so I'm ready to tackle getting this thing going. And this is a 1966 International Scout, and it has a little 196 slant 4 gasoline motor in it. It's the same motor that I had in my little Scout that I had in high school. This was owned by a local gas company. It was used to check the lines for many, many years. That's primarily all it did was check gas lines and repair, maintenance. And so it has a factory PTO winch on it, and which you don't see very often. The PTO winches anymore, they're kind of hard to find. So my wife is really looking forward to getting this drivable. It runs now, but we are going to restore it. So looking forward to that. It was my 10th year wedding anniversary gift from my wife. I picked it online, went to Western Montana, took loads out to Western Montana, and then winched this thing up, and I am going to restore this as well, and looking forward to it. I want to probably keep it just as original as it is. It's been a couple different company vehicles for first a gas station, and then it was Clack gas stations from way back. That's underneath, and then it became Brewer, which was a sprayer of maybe it was pesticides. I don't really know for sure, but it does have a hot water tank in the back, and on the other side it has a little gas motor that powered. Actually, I have the new piece of one of this replacement. So, but it has the gas motor to power the sprayer that was for the truck, and it was probably in the agricultural business, I would say, because it was farm country where I picked this up, close to Havre, Montana is where the vicinity that it came from. And so it's a single rear wheel, 1 ton, 1946 when it was actually produced, but it's titled as of 1947, which is kind of common for the older trucks. A lot of International also did that. If it was made in a certain year, it's when they titled it. When they actually sold it is when it was titled as its year. So sometimes you'll see a 68 being titled, but it was actually clearly a 67 based on the grill. This is a 1962 pickup that has 4 headlights on the front, which was only made 2 years, I think, 62 and 3 maybe, that it had the 4 headlights. And I'm gonna take this bed and I'm gonna take it off, and this is gonna go, I may have to stretch it out. I've got another bed. I may have to weld in to extend it to go on another truck. So this was kind of a parts truck that I picked up from a salvage yard out in Colorado.
So behind the history of International, when did they stop making trucks and why? Do you know?
I know that they stopped making the Scout in 1980. As far as the pickups, I'm not real sure. It was in the 70s, and I don't know why they stopped making them, but it was a good company. They've got bought out a time or two, and maybe around 2000, the new millennia, the quality went down, and so I don't even have any desire to buy the newer ones. Things changed, but it used to be a really good company. I think it's always a good idea if you have a replacement for a vise that's healthy. And this was all paid for with basically the beer money that I wouldn't have drank otherwise. So I did this for a few years of purchasing these Internationals with the beer money I would have been spending, and I have come to the point where I have enough to play with. I can take parts from different ones and exchange them, and what I would say is find something that you're interested in collecting, or if you have the ability to take that same money you were spending on whatever and buy yourself something that you enjoy. And it's helped me to move on.